Are we also not going to talk about Dick Grayson getting bitch slapped?
Oh well, that's that. You just segued us into the next question.
No one talks about them.
All right, so let's just throw this all into one nice, neat little bundle. That way we can all go watch the game, drink our drinks. Love you guys, but there's football on. So,
Hockey.
and hockey. Let's not forget the hockey.
By the way, yo, Lakers getting that ring.
All right. As you can see, we
right.
like
care
comics
about basketball anymore.
and sports.
Basketball's on.
Well, I'm a Laker fan. Shut up.
I tuned in for like
Sorry.
50 seconds the other day. You got LeBron playing. Greatest player of this generation.
LeBron's still playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
And
like
his
a
head-
but, well, all
And
right.
when he jumps, his head still goes above the rim. It's insane.
He makes me feel old. Anyway. So let's tie this up in one little bow. Let's see if there's anything we missed. Just so you guys know, in case we missed it, not only I think Eric pointed it out, I pointed it out, people pointed it out. Nightwing, though, was destined to be a Talon. So his great grandfather
I think just
It's
his
up
grand.
there.
or his grandfather was
No, it's
a
great.
Talon. Great grandfather, right? Was a Talon. I thought I wrote down his name. William Cobb.
No, yeah, what happened is
Not that it's important.
he fell in love with like a rich girl and knocked her up, and they like kind of hush that shit in the 1800s, like because she was in the Court of Owls or something. And then I think he joins the court or something and hides it with the circus, and then the circus trains assassins.
So
Which is
yeah,
more plausible than having a secret base in Wayne Tower. We're gonna get that in there.
so circus trained people became Talons because of their athletic ability.
It's like John Wick-esque.
And now you know why there's no Barnum and Bailey's anymore. And Batman took care of that shit.
Definitely.
Like that. Fool me
Now-
once, shame on me.
Now we know why assassinations are down 20%.
Well, yeah, John Wick was a ballerina.
The more you know. Dun, dun, dun.
There you go. I thought that was Black Widow.
No, John Wick 3.
I haven't seen it.
Dude, get on that shit.
All right.
He was a ballerina? What?
Yeah, look,
It's a
John Wick 3.
ballerino, thank you.
Wait, I'm gonna have to
2020, he's a ballerina.
I'm gonna have to rewatch the movie because I do not recall that.
Yeah, he sees Morticia in the place, and he goes, "That's where you're from," and they're all like ballerinas and shit. And then they're dancing. You see his fighting style when they're like dancing and wrestling upstairs.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
right.
He's finding the two guys while the scene's happening.
I'm right. Eric's wrong.
Yes,
Am I wrong? I didn't
He
see the
trained in
movie.
ballet, but he wasn't a ballerina. It wasn't like fucking Keanu in a fucking tutu just fucking going out there.
Bro, it is 2020, and that is offensive, Justin. You should apologize.
What, saying Keanu? I'm sorry.
No, because you wore a tutu. Because it'd be so ridiculous that a man wears a tutu.
I will just point out, just
Hey.
for clarification, Mikhail, what's his name?
Baryshnikov?
Baryshnikov. He was one of the greatest ballerinas of all time,
Who
or
the fuck is that guy?
ballet performer.
Seriously.
And
And
but
actually,
Baryshnikov,
well-
yes, was one of the greatest ballet artists of our time.
Yeah, and NFL players, man, they all get that they get that toe tap down because of ballet.
Ballet, yeah. Even linemen take it for
What
footwork.
I'm trying to say, it just want to give a disclaimer to the fans
No,
that
you-
in the John Wick series, you do not see him going out and performing in the Nutcracker. That's
I
not.
mean,
He's not wearing a cod piece and tights. So,
Saying you
dance
guys are
belt. Dance
so
belt. Come on.
disgusting.
This is all being cut.
right? I may keep the Mikhail Baryshnikov.
Whoa!
That's about it. Oh, somebody just got smacked up. All right. So, is there anything, as I cough, is there anything out there that anybody wants to bring up one last time before we cut this the debacle of an ending? It's not that bad, actually.
I mean, he started on a high note. I feel like this has to be like, this is a top 10 Batman story of all time.
I think so. If you asking me, or if we can go around with this one, yes. It's definitely top 10. I didn't even dare to say top 5.
Top 5.
I mean, you got your year 1 Dark Knight, Arkham Asylum, Killing Joke. That's everyone's like top 4, right?
Yeah,
In
you
whatever
got, like,
order you like them.
Long Halloween, Dark Victory. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's better than Dark Victory. I mean,
Yeah, Dark
Long
Victory. I
Halloween's
feel
tough.
like
I mean, maybe we could do this in another show. Like, 'cause that
Long
kinda
Halloween.
shows-
Long Halloween, I think, is probably my favorite Batman story ever.
But I'm saying, like, if you pulled like 100 comic book fans,
Yeah.
I feel like I got the top 4 on like
Yeah, yeah.
97 of
Yeah,
them.
and it's funny because growing up and before New 52, Loeb and Sale was my Batman duo. That was my Batman, and that was my writer, that was my style, that was my artist, and then Snyder and Capullo came around, and I was like, fuck, I have to rethink my priorities now. So yeah,
honestly,
I'm not
guys,
sure if it's top 5 for me, but it's definitely top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Long Halloween, you probably like it's a detective story, and I kind of liked how it kind of shows how he inspires madness with everybody else and like the growing escalation of things, which is a theme from The Dark Knight.
Yeah, and I like Long Halloween so much because I feel like it's a great synthesis of the Rogues Gallery with the like on the ground mob stuff as well. So it feels very much like the entire world is being included.
That's tough. I got to think about number 5.
Yeah. For me, yeah, definitely. This, especially for me personally, like this was a story that brought me back into comics. Thank you, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. You owe me like 10 grand anytime you want to mail that check. But
we should do a debate episode, top 5 Batman stories.
we should.
Actually, that's my podcast idea, where
There we go.
Will's like Molly Querim, I'm Stephen A. Smith, and you're Max.
Yeah, but with
I'm Max.
Max Killer.
Who's more bombastic? Who yells?
That's true.
All
Thanks.
right.
You
But
could be like Will Kane, Justin, who comes on every other episode.
there is a soft spot in my heart just because this is a story that also brought me back into comics. But I think artwork is phenomenal. The writing on this one is phenomenal. Lettering, if you want to do inking, yeah, you want to do coloring, it's all phenomenal. So overall, I think it's an A+ package. And so the rest of the other stories, some of them for me are an A+ in the top 5, but they are also seminal Batman stories that have influenced the mythos of Batman. So
Like-
this one has inspired a video game, though, guys. Come on.
And the animated movie.
And right. So I don't know. For me, yes, it would be in the top 5. As Eric said, we should totally now just all go away, not even talk about it, come up with our top 5 and come
Stop
back
recording. We're done.
and defend them. We haven't done the sign off though. We got to keep recording, bro. But for me, yes,
I see.
this is a top 5. Justin, do you have anything to add?
Within the last 20, 30 years, this is the most substantial Batman story that you're going to read. And that's kind of where it lays down into it. It's kind of, this is what brought DC back in, like it gave DC the CPR right here. And it brought them back to life. It brought comics back to the forefront. Snyder was he was nominated as the bestseller. It brought attention to our universe. This is our life, and it gave us another reason to get a nice breath of fresh air and just kind of love what we grew up loving. So I mean, that's the reason why this will always stay in the top 5 for me. And it's for that reason only, is that the fact that it gave me my love for comics again, and it got me back into spending a lot of my family's finances on stuff that I probably shouldn't be buying. But
I
Instant
feel like
inheritance.
this Batman 1 is to grown up Eric what X-Men 1 was to young Eric. Like that was my because I remember as a kid being sort of daunted, especially by like the DC stuff, by being like, there is so much out there, and I'm looking at issue numbers, and I'm like, how do I know what the hell any of this is? So all of a sudden, it's 92, and it's like X-Men 1, like great,
I can jump on.
Like,
Yay.
here I am, like this is my shit now, and I hopped on, and I was a Batman fan at that time, especially because of the '89 Burton movie, but I had a hard time fully grasping the full complexity of the Batman world, because again, it was like at that point you're like 400 issues of Batman itself, and then whatever.
Yeah, 400 or not 500. Maybe
yeah,
Detective was a little bit ahead.
Yeah,
500.
and so so I had that jumping on point, and it was the same thing here, where after many years of just not having time or money or whatever for comics, it was like, here's a Batman 1, here we go, doing it all over, and it was like, shit, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I won't put it in my top 5. I think I'll save it for another time. I will say that this Batman run, like whatever Scott Snyder writes, like I'm in. I'll give you a shot. Like I kickstarted his Nocturna, whatever. I don't even know what that is. I'm sure there'll be a lot of thought bubbles, but I'm in.
Yeah, that's like what I was saying before about how we
whatever he writes.
Give him a very long leash. We'll always give him a benefit of the doubt because he gave us.
And I mean, hopefully he doesn't go the Frank Miller route, because it's not good.
He's got another 20 years before the complete breakdown of his faculties.
Well, you know what? Snyder's just expanding his wings. He's trying to see how much he can get away with, and all the
I think
power.
he kind of.
That's the thing. That's what I think. Even as much of a shit show as the Metal books are, or whatever, I feel like it's the thing that I feel happy for them, that they earned the ability to just be like, you know what, we're just gonna do whatever the fuck makes us happy. And like, if you're along for the ride, awesome. If you're not, whatever.
I feel like death metal's better than metal.
What was that?
Death metal's
Death
better
metal's
than
better than
metal.
metal.
I feel like it's
I
a little
reserve judgment on that.
There's an actual chainsaw. Like there was no Joker
Chainsaw of
Dragon.
Truth.
Like
I love that.
they put
I
the
love Wonder
Sandman
Woman in
dude
this
in there.
series.
Yeah.
Oh thank God! Oh thank God! You dropped
It's a Wonder Woman book.
Yeah, it's,
More than-
it's a Wonder Woman book.
Yeah, but at least
That's
Batman's
very
in it. And I'm sorry, Batman and the Star, it's adorable.
Jarro.
Yes.
is not true.
It's adorable.
Well, he's
Yeah.
like a mini Robin.
Not in
Yes.
front of Clark.
Yeah. I ship that.
Yes, I do love me some Jarro.
Well, and here's my take on it. When Snyder did his run on Detective when he was doing it with Jock, and then once he got handed the keys to the kingdom, and now it's like, hey, you got control of this main line. He knew that he had to kind of stay within it, these boundaries of like, all right, this is where I can go. Like, so he kept his story very concise, but he kind of expanded and went his own way with it. And now that he kind of built up a name and he has his reputation and he has this stand at DC, like Metal was his chance to kind of go outside the box and kind of expand his boundaries and see how it goes. So I understand that, like, he had this angst in him that he just wanted to kind of like, let me try and create something completely different and out there. And it's a kind of like a hit or miss. Some people love it, some people hate it. And it's, like eventually he's going to have to kind of come back on the reel and he'll come back home. And he earned that right with his take on the New 52 run. This is what gave him that freedom to kind of go out there and expand in that crazy universe that he's trying to do.
I feel like he's kind of done on Batman. Like now it's do your indie stuff now.
Well, in theory, his last Batman story was what was it? The Last Night. Yeah.
Yeah, because he wanted to give the ending.
And also with Snyder, I feel like All-Star Batman was kind of wild and out of the box, and I really enjoyed that.
That was an interesting series because he
Like,
had a new artist on every arc. So that was
And the first arc was dope.
Yeah.
And the last arc wasn't bad. It kind of like got Alfred as kind of a badass.
Yeah, it wasn't
First
horrific.
ally.
horrific.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
What I will say about metal and death metal is at least it gave us, well, some people like it, some people hate it, but it gave us the Batman Who Laughs or the Darkest Night. So that something came out of it. What I also will say, and this is where I'll lose everybody, is I will make a direct correlation to Scott Snyder and Kanye West, where they stood within the parameters of their industry, pumped out some really good stuff, and then was like, all right, we've made it. I'm allowed to make something. And Snyder went out and made Metal, and Kanye West went out and made 808 and Heartbreak. And the rest is
became a chopper.
Yeah, but I feel like,
So one of those is a win, and one of those.
yeah, but isn't he also doing like image stuff? Like Undiscovered Country is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's also out there, though, right? That's not a...
He hasn't like mentally lost it. Like you're comparing him to someone who's actually mentally ill. And
Right.
that's not fair.
Hey,
No.
you're talking about our next president, dude. You better watch your tone.
He peed on his Grammy.
He cut off Taylor Swift.
But still, every time somebody says that, I just have images of Kanye peeing on his grandma. I don't know.
And I was like, oh, we should just end it now. And I was like, well, I'm the one who started this, so...
Honestly, I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah.
We might as well stay on this Zoom because it's 27:10 at the half.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else got anything, last notes or anything? Or because we can just wrap it up.
I'm good.
Last thing I gotta say, read the damn series. Snyder took Batman back into the forefront. He threw him right back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the future of what comics are going to be. And it's like, if you can't buy into this, sign yourself out, cut it off, call it dead.
Save a lot of money.
So, I mean, what he does from here with what he does with the Joker, I mean, we didn't even touch upon that into the next, future video.
Yeah.
But his take on the Joker is exactly what you would expect from modern day comics. And I thank Snyder, I thank Capullo, I thank this series for getting me back into what I truly love. And I mean, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be talking to you guys. Like, we wouldn't be making a video. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy the video. Enjoy the comics. Keep reading.
Yeah. All right.
Well, shit. Thanks, Dustin.
And I think
I'm good.
yeah, I think we just have to end it there, right?
No one talks about them. Not a whisper word is said. For if you try to crush them, then the town strikes you dead.